going to talk about actually discuss about the Bhagavad Gita. Uh, so that is it is the fifth chapter. Fifth chapter is called Karma Yoga, actions in Krishna consciousness. So that is we will discuss on 25th text. So before we discuss, start, then we have to do the prayer. So Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanang namaskritang naranchaiva narottamam deving saraswati vyasang tato jaya mudiraye nasta prayesho yavadresho nitam bhagavata sevaya bhagavate uttama sloke bhaktir bhavate noistike. So we are going to read the text. Labdante Brahma Nirvanam Rishaya Kina Kalmasham Chinna Doida Jatatmana Sharva Bhuta Hitiratham. Labdante Brahma Nirvanam Rishaya Kina Kalmasha Chinna Doida Jatatmana Sharva Bhuta Hitiratham. Labante Brahmanirvanam Rishaya Kina Kalmasha Chinna Daida Jatatmano Sharva Bhuta Hideratam. Synonyms: Labante, achieve; Brahmanirvanam, liberation in the Supreme; Rashaya, those who are active within; Shina, Kalmasha, who are devoid of all sins; Chinna, having torn off; Doidha, duality; Jata Atmana, engaged in self-realization; Sarvabhuta, of all living entities; Hite, in welfare works; Ratha, engaged. Translation and purport written by Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts, whose minds are engaged within, who are always busy working for the welfare of all living beings, and who are free from all sins, achieve liberation in the Supreme. Purport: only a person who is fully in Krishna consciousness can be said to be engaged in welfare work for all living entities. When a person is actually in the knowledge that Krishna is the fountainhead of everything, then when he acts in that spirit, he acts for everyone. The sufferings of humanity are due to forgetfulness of Krishna as the supreme enjoyer, the supreme proprietor, and the supreme friend. Therefore, to act to revive this consciousness within the entire human society is the highest welfare work. One cannot be engaged in such first-class welfare work without being liberated in the Supreme. A Krishna conscious person has no doubt about the supremacy of Krishna. He has no doubt because he is completely free from all sins. This is the state of divine love. A person engaged only in ministering to the physical welfare of human society cannot effectually help anyone. Temporary relief of the external body and the mind is not satisfactory. The real cause of one's difficulties in the heart struggle for life may be found in one's forgetfulness of his relationship with the Supreme Lord. When a man is fully conscious of his relationship with Krishna, he is actually a liberated soul, although he may be in the material uh, tabernacle. Om Gyanantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakayam Chakshurunmilitanga Jena Tashmai Sri Gurave Namo Shri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Stapitanga Jena Bhutale Shayangarupadam Dadati Shapadantikam Bande Hang Sri Guru Sri Juto Pada Kamalam Sri Gurum Vishnu Bangshcha Sri Rupanga Shakra Jatan Shahagana Raghunatan Nitam Tang Shajivam Shadvaitanga Shavadutam Purijana Shahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Shahagana Lalita Sri Vishaka Nitamishcham He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesho Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namostute Tapto Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Shute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Bancha Kalpataru Bhishta Kripa Sindhu Bhaya Vacha Patitanang Pavanepo Vaishnavebho Namo Namo Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivashadi Gaura Bhakta Brindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Labhante Brahma Nirvanam Rishaya Kina Kalmasha Chinna Dvaida Jatatmana Sarva Bhuta Hite Ratam. Those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts, whose minds are engaged within, who are always busy working for the welfare of all living beings, and who are free from all sins, achieve liberation in the Supreme. So this chapter actually in, in the beginning, I just recap from the beginning of this chapter. That is that Arjuna's question, sannyas or karma yoga. So which is better, renunciation of work or working within detachment? Then it was also explained in the beginning, Krishna explained to Arjuna, that is, karma yoga is equal to but easier than sannyas. These are the most important word. Here, some word, it was mentioned that sannyas or karma yoga. Sannyas yoga or karma yoga is higher. Then which is better, renunciation of work or working with detachment? Working with detachment, renunciation of work, and work or working with detachment. These are 2 points in here. Then karma yoga is equal to but easier than sannyas. So then karma yoga is easier, is equal, easier than sannyas yoga. I will explain this. That's the point. Then renunciation and working in the spirit of renunciation are same, but for Arjuna, working is better because premature renunciation is distressful. So Arjuna doesn't like the renunciation. Arjuna like the work. Okay, it is what type of work? I will explain later. These are all the points. It was discussed actually before. Then performing Nishkam Karma Yoga that frees one from bondage. Nishkam Karma Yoga frees from all the bondages, material bondages. Then characteristics of a Yoga Yukta, never entangled, self-controlled, doer, not non-doer, works for the supreme with detachment. Seeking purification attains peace. Then text number 13 to 16, it was mentioned that knowledge of the 3 doers. What are the 3 doers? The soul, the material nature, and the Lord. Ignorance bewilders the soul while knowledge enlightens. Then 17 to 29, it was explained that liberation by focusing on the Supreme. That is symptoms, 17 to 21, the symptoms of self-realized person focusing on Supreme Personality of Godhead makes him equiposed and attain Brahman platform. Then 22 to 25, it was mentioned that sense enjoyment is distressful, so tolerate agitations till the end of life by delighting in what's Brahma Bhuta stage. So today we will discuss the 25 text. It is 25. So in 25, what it is says that there is a sadhana, that everybody we are doing the sadhana. This sadhana for attaining liberation. So that is Brahma Nirvana. Brahma Nirvanam, that is. Brahma Nirvana means liberation in the Supreme. That freedom from sin, Krishna Kalmasha. You see, Krishna Kalmasha, that means that who are devoid of all sins. Then minds being engaged within Jatatmana. Is that Jatatmana engaged in self-realization. Then that is chinna dvaita. Chinna means having tolerance of dvaita, duality. Then the Sarvabhuta Hite, that is last sentence of the text, Sarvabhuta, for all living entities, Hite, in welfare work, Rata, engaged. So this is actually, this text is very, very important for ourselves. That is sadhana for attaining liberation. Here there are some things that needs to be, we will discuss today. Here one thing is that dualities. Here it was mentioned that there are two types of dualities. Dualities mean two, right? Miseries and happiness. Happiness means that Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, this the previous verse, just again, the previous verse, it is Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kanshati. That is the previous verse, is the uh, it was explained in the previous verse. So here the dualities is also, it is here it is mentioned that dualities means that is the renunciation and devotional service. That is, for that reason Arjuna, it was telling that which one you like, renunciation or devotional service. Arjuna mentioned that I don't like renunciation, I like devotional service. So without a devotional service, renunciation, the value of the renunciation is zero. That means if I took the renunciation, leave it, take everything, then what happened? Where is the work? Where is the service to the Lord? There is no service to the Lord. So how come Lord will give the mercy? So it is not possible. Arjuna, he likes devotional service. Why? Because he wants to associate with Lord Krishna all the times, 24 hours. For that reason, he likes this renunciation, devotional service. Through devotional service, he can understand the Krishna. Though Arjuna is very elevated soul, he knows Krishna, who is Krishna, but this is the lessons for us. So those whose mind are established in some oneness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. In this, there is one analogy, just I am giving one examples. That is actually Srila Prabhupada given the examples. I just parroting on this. That is that to understand, how can I understand Krishna? Then if we understand Krishna, then we must have to be a relationship with him, which is called Ovideya. Ovideya Namavakta Prema Prayojan. So Ovideya, that Ovideya is must required. That is that through one example Srila Prabhupada given, that is sun. Sun giving the rays. So if we must have to understand what is the rays is. When we stand on the rays, then what we feel is very hot. Then we can understand that how. Then what is the sun? Sun is like an fire. It's very hot. Then we can, from the rays realization, then we can realize what is sun is. The sun is very, very hard. So similarly, that through the devotional service, to serve the Krishna, and to think about Krishna, and to um, uh, Ashmaran the Krishna, then we can understand Krishna. Who is Krishna? That is also by the mercy of Lord Krishna. Then here it was um, uh, written in here, those who are beyond the dualities, they do not want the pure bhakta, they do not want, they do not have the dualities at all. Beyond the dualities, that arises from the doubts. That duality comes from the doubt. So that means our doubt should go away. How it should go away? By the mercy of Guru, by the mercy of devotees, by the mercy of Krishna, that doubt will go away. So when doubt go away, then we can understand who is Krishna. So that is to understand Krishna. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that in his lecture. Actually, we should know a few things. What are the things? That is, before understand the Krishna, then there are some questions arises within ourselves. What is creation? How this cosmos is working? Who created this creation? Right? And how it is continuing? This creation, it is continuing. Then what are the karmas? That means there are, in second chapter, we did it, there are karma, bikarma, and there are different types of karma also. So it was discussed before. What are the karmas? And what is the transcendental knowledge? That kind of questions we have to ask within ourselves. Then if we do not understand, we have to take the shelter of Guru and the devotees. Then the question arises, what is renunciation? And then the last question will comes, what is the liberation? Then these types of questions we must have to ask ourselves. Then the doubt, if we get the proper understanding, then the doubt will go away. That is, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that in Srimad Bhagavatam, how many cantos in Srimad Bhagavatam? Srimad Bhagavatam has 12 cantos, right? First 9 cantos, it was given about the different types of energy of Krishna, explained in different types of energies. Then if we understand Krishna's different types of different types of energies, then we can understand who is Krishna. Similarly, sun, to understand sun, then we must have to realize the sun rays. What is sun rays? We have to know about the sun rays. That is also in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also mentioned that he explained, he opened and told that matta parantaram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya moi sarvamidam pratam shutre moni ganaiva. Shutre moni ganaiva. All the, that is, it was everything, it is in the string, that is, so that is Sutre Muni Ganai. Then, oh Dhananjay, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. That was Krishna told to Arjuna. Then, that is, so to understand Krishna, that is the most important. Then it comes the liberation. Then here another thing, it was mentioned that whose mind are engaged to go within. That is mentioned that Shayana Shapane Nidra Jagarane should think about the Krishna, 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 He Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Lakshmana. Krishna, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am the servant of you. Please engage your servant in the service of you. Please engage. I want to do the service to you. So when we will do the service, then slowly, slowly, the attraction will come to develop for Krishna. Then we can understand Krishna. Here, the who are always busy working for the welfare of all living beings. There is one word is the welfare, right? That means hite, Sarvabhuta hite rata. Sarvabhuta hite rata. Sarva means Sarvabhuta, all living entities. There are, that is, welfare. There are two types of welfare. In Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada very clearly explained. Two types of welfare. One type of welfare, it is a materialistic. Other types of welfare, it is the spiritual. So one type of materialistic, what is this? That is the, as for example, Bill Gates. Bill Gates, he is doing lot of welfare work for the community, building hospitals, helping the people, poor people, making the shelters, lot of help he is doing, spent a lot of money. Is this make a happiness? What is the result? In our Shastra, it was mentioned that doing that kind of welfare, that is undoubtedly it is a good thing. This is very good things. So people can go to, Bill Gates can go to Vaikuntha for the time beings. Then he must have to, after 10 years or 15 years or 100 years, then he has to come back again. So, do Arjuna wants like that? No, Arjuna doesn't want like that. Arjuna always wants to stay with Krishna, serve to Krishna. The second type of welfare is that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. For that reason, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in this material world. So, materialistic welfare not helping, not giving the full liberation. That is, for that reason, Mahaprabhu, Krishna saw it, and Krishna decided that he had to come again to liberate the people, come in his abode. So what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu distribute Jare deko tare koho Krishna upadesh amar agyay tara ei desh. That means Prithibite ache joto nagaradi gram sarvatra prachar karaho mor naam. So that is the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is Radha and Krishna himself. So he appeared 500 years back, and he distributed this Harinam to everybody. For that reason, that is the ISKCON distributing that Harinam, this, distributing the Harinam to the people, those who doesn't know about what is Harinam. Then people, ISKCON devotees distributing the books, ISKCON devotees distributing the Harinam, distributing the Japabit, and do chant for better welfare. That is the topmost welfare. That is Lord Krishna given us to distribute the Harinam. Go and preach. Preaching is the topmost. So that is then what happened. The last part of the translation, it was written that who are free from all sins achieve liberation in the Supreme. That means who are free from all sins. If we chant very nicely, then all the sins will go away. Then the liberation, we can go back to our home, back to Godhead. That is, this is the system that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu given. And most important things is that never forget Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everything surrounding us, it is all are Krishna's. Our money is also Krishna. Our children is also Krishna's children. Our food is also Krishna's prasadam. So we should not have any doubt that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when that kind of consciousness will come, then there will be a relationship, sambandha. That is called the sambandha. I have a relationship with Krishna. That is called the sambandha gyan. Right? Actually, that is the sambandha gyan. Then how can we more confident that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? That is that kind of through the devotional service we have to be established our relationship. That is Sambandha Gyan. Sarva Upanishado Gavo Dugdha Gopalanandana Partha Varsha Sudhir Bhukta Dugdham Gita Mitam Mahat. So that is the Sarva Upanishad. There are a lot of Upanishad in here. Sarva Upanishad, Gava Dugdha Gopalan. That is only the one Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita Upanishad, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, giving it is the milk of the cow. That milk we must have to drink that milk. That was for that reason ASEANZ during the COVID time and all the times that institute took so many Bhakti Bhikshu and every day the Singashwar Prabhuji arranged the Bhagavad Gita classes. That is the dugdha, that is the milk. That milk is distributing. We have to drink that milk. So Krishna consciousness person. So now what we got it, that we got a pure person, Krishna conscious person. We understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the person, this Krishna conscious person, he is a self-realized. He knows that self-realization. And he is not illusioned by the false identification with body. I am not a body. I am not a body. I am a soul. So That is that understanding we must have to first we must have to understand that thing. For that reason, Krishna in second chapter, the 13th verse, he mentioned that. That is the first in second chapter mentioned that that is the first we must have to understand who we are. We are body or we are soul. Then the pure realized soul, he knows perfectly well he is not a body, he is an part and parcel of Lord. Then what happened? He is an uh, static, static intelligence. He has sthita buddhi. He is more, his intelligence is that he is directly connected to the Krishna. That is. Then he is a equanimity of mind, sign of self-realization. That means Pandita Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gobihastini Shuni Choiva Shapakecha Pandita Samadarshina. Because the pure soul, pure devotee, he is a Pandita. Everybody, he sees all the living entities. Whatever he saw, he can see. That is the, everybody has the Paramatma. Everybody has the Krishna within himself. That the Vidyan, that is, he can see, that is. Then, now, the mind and soul, body and soul. How body comes? That body comes from, I think in Srimad Bhagavatam, now it is running third canto, seventh chapter. In before chapter, it was written very nicely. That is, the body comes from the material production of different modes of material nature. That is Sapta Raja Tamagun. From that, the body comes. Our body, not only our every bodies, it comes from that. And soul and super soul within the body are the same quality. That is the soul and super soul are the conscious, eternal, and blissful. So, pure soul, when we the again coming to the pure soul, because this chapter, it was a action in Krishna consciousness. Action in Krishna consciousness. For that reason, that it is an developed person. That is the pure soul. So, soul is conscious within the limited jurisdiction of the body. That means soul, when our soul comes in the womb of our mother, then all the material things, material anarthas surrounded by the soul. Then soul forget where I came from, who is my father, what is the relationship with my father. For that reason, we are suffering a lot. So, in several times, Srila Prabhupada emphasizes on this point. In this text also, Srila Prabhupada emphasized on this point. So then the that is the peace. That is that. So what kind of the pure soul, when he understood that is I am on one pure soul, when the anarthas will go away, then he became a pure soul. That is the our attainment on that is our sadhana to to become a pure soul. So that is for that last verse of this chapter. It is called the peace formula. In the peace formula, it was written that is Bhaktaram Jagatopasham Sarvalokam Maheshwaram Shuridam Sarvabhutanam Gattamam Shantimishchati. Then this Shanti, then Bhaktaram Jagatopasham. I am the Krishna mentioned that is the I'm the Bhaktaram, I'm Bhakta Vatsham. Jagato Pasha Sarvaloka Mahesham, all the universes, it comes from me. And Shuridam, that means I'm the friend of everybody. Sarva Bhutanam, Sarva Bhuta, Gyattamam Shantimichati. Those who understand me, then they became a happy. That is called the happiness. So duality comes, that is, what are the dualities? Distress and happy. So if we have enough money, enough nice house, nice car, that is the materialistic happiness. Actually, that is not the happiness. So actual happiness is that when if I understand Krishna and make a relationship with him, that is called the happiness. So there are a lot of things actually uh, can tell about this. Time is also left only 5-7 minutes. So just I am very quickly uh, finish this. That is again Krishna. Who is Krishna? Krishna is a person. And this how um, uh, in how can we achieve Krishna? How can we serve Krishna? That is our parampara system. That is there our Guru Varga and Acharya Varga all are, they showed the way how to do the devotional service, can achieve Krishna's, make a relationship with Krishna. So that is to understand Krishna also, that is Srila Prabhupada given very nice examples of sun, that is, and the knowledge, there should not be any doubt and there should not be any dualities. And Krishna name and Krishna himself, there is no difference. So today's text actually I am concluding in here, that is the we should be there should not be any doubt, no dualities, and mind always engaged in the service of him and to make a relationship with him, then we can get the peace. And no, the welfare, we must have a welfare for the people who can liberate it and went to Golokdam. That is the actual welfare. That is Jare Dekho Tare Kaho Krishna Upadesh Amar Aggai Guru Hoya Taro Desh Prithibite Ache Joto Nagar Adigram Sarvatra Prachar Karo Mor Nam. That means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's this truth text, it was implemented by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, partly implemented, and the rest of the world implemented by our Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, when he spread this Krishna's name all over the world. For that reason, we understand that who is Krishna, who are the devotees, who are the pure devotee, and what we need to be. We have to be a pure soul without the anattas. And can it be possible? Srila Prabhupada mentioned that yes, it can be possible. in one human life is enough to become a pure soul. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam on all of your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Is anybody has any questions or any discussion? If you can, you can ask. Thank you very much for Shri Prabhuji. You gave me the opportunities to talk about this text. It is a very heavy text actually. Thank you very much, Shri Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Dattatreya Prabhuji, for taking time to take the class. And yes, I mean, I know that it's 1 hour difference for you. Still early.
No problem, Prabhuji, no problem at all.
Thank you so much for a wonderful class. So many wonderful realizations. So nice to hear, and from the perspective of what the Supreme Lord is speaking. Bhagavad Gita is, we are not the speaker. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is the speaker.
Exactly.
Yes. So we are all listeners. We are all listeners.
Yes.
Even though we are speaking, but we are still listeners of what Krishna has spoken.
Exactly.
So it's very merciful that there are people, that I will just give an example. I mean, many of you must believe the form of life after the death. So here Prabhuji was very clearly mentioning about the liberation to get out of this world. So we may ask this question, what would happen if one person is not liberated, but still wandering and lingering in this world, wandering around in this world? Some can become the form of a spirit. They may not immediately take the birth, or they may not go to the heavenly planets. They may not immediately get the, any kind of life form. They have to be in the spirit form. But since they do have the settled body in this world, mind, intelligence, and ego, they will all have the feelings of, the hunger and the thirst and all the material hankerings. Still they will have, if they don't liberate. So then what happens? They do, like whenever there is a Bhagavad Gita, whenever there is a Saptah, whenever there is a puja, whenever there is any kinds of thing, they would try to come because of some reason they didn't get a human body or another body in their next life. They will wander into this world like in a spiritual, that's called settled body. So I mean, many examples out there that settled body affects the people. So then what happens when the yatra comes, they try to come over there. And if they don't get an opportunity, what they do, they create havocs, and so many things happens to the people, right? So many, we know that there are hauntings, right? We all heard about that. The reason for saying this one, even there are people, those who are not even able to heard a single name of Krishna or not had any opportunity to associate and talk about Krishna or some way or other, they didn't do any good thing. Those are the people who are actually going to become these various spirit forms, or we call it as, spirits, or ghost, something like that. So what happened? They tried to come to listen all this Bhagavad Gita, wherever there is association, satsang. That's the one reason we blow the conch. You know that why we blow the conch before we start the puja? The one reason is that to send away all these spirits or ghosts, those are, or what is called inauspiciousness. So they bring, it's as a custom, it's mentioned that they bring the inauspiciousness. So we just blow the conch, boom, like that. So this sound vibration is actually sends them away. So the reason I'm saying that, so it's very, very wonderful that once in a lifetime of a human, that one can able to hear or listen from the Supreme Lord what Lord is spoken. That's very merciful. And we can hear, we can feel, we can realize, and we can hear and we can experience this transcendental subject matter. So it's very, very, we are so grateful for the Lord that in this human form of life that we have physically present, we can see things, we can relish, we can so many things we can do so that our life will be successful. We will get liberation. We will not be wander in this material world. We will not suffer anymore. We will not suffer, in any other life forms, but rather we all can attain that either heavenly planets or can have liberation or can go back to Godhead, Golok Vrindavan. The devotees, we are just seeing the tip of the iceberg. What we see in this material world is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many things beyond this matter. There are so many things beyond this matter. Our Acharya, spiritual master, all these great Guru Paramparas, they have seen this truth. It's called truth. They have seen the truth. So thank you so much for joining and connecting and bringing more new devotees to connect to Krishna. That's this yoga. This is called Bhakti Yoga. So what is happening? The mercy of the Lord. The mercy of the Lord is showering. That's why we are all here, comes together and listen to Bhagavad Gita from the pure devotees of the Lord. So thank you, Dattatreya Prabhu, for taking time and enlightening us with your knowledge, with your devotion, with your mood. And thank you so much, all dear devotees comes together and listening the what Krishna spoke. And yes, it may be a little repetitive or something, but this is the truth, dear devotees. This is the truth. We are here for a short period of time. We are just a gust here in this material world. We are Aditi here in this world. We have to leave. We have to leave the place. We cannot stay here for longer. So we have to prepare for that's intelligence. We have to prepare for our journey. So this is our journey. We are coming together and, listening, hearing, Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, worshipping and devoting and, so many things we are doing. It's wonderful. So definitely there is a great benefit, great results, great benefit. So thank you so much for, all your wonderful association. You are all worshipable devotees. You're all worshipable devotees. Because of Lord's mercy is there upon you. So worshipable devotees. Thank you so much. And pranams to all of you. Thank you so much. Are there any questions, comments, concerns to Dattatreya Prabhu for this class? Anything you wanted to share? Anything you wanted to reflect? Please go ahead. This is the time. Yeah. Nobody has anything to add? Are we all awake? First of all. Be able to hear?
Haribol, we are all awake. Haribol.
Oh, wonderful. That's very good. It's not bad. It's just 8 o'clock. Should be awake. Yeah. Anything, any devotees? Anybody has anything to add? Any comments? Please take it seriously that, this life, this opportunity, the opportunity to hear Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad, association of devotees, somehow we have to make it as our priority in our life. This is transcendental, dear devotees. This is taking us from this our material what is called contemplations, material afflictions, material impurities, material thoughts, material, experiences, taste. So many ways we can see this, the material influences or the energy which coming upon us. What is gives, like Koji mentioned about the dualities in the beginning. Happiness, distress, pain, pleasure, heat and cold, summer and winter, right? Pain and pleasure. This is there. This is there in this human life. So, but in the, as Prabhuji mentioned, one who taken the shelter, one who has the faith in the Supreme Lord will not experience any dualities. Will not experience any dualities. Because he knows that. Why I should? Because it all comes from the senses. This happiness, distress, all these things. If he take complete shelter of the Supreme, then he would come out from these dualities. It's like a heat and cold, right? Like a summer and winter which comes. Pain and pleasure is also come from our mind, our settled body. The one who is practiced, so let's say Prabhuji mentioned about the sadhana. By the sadhana, by the bhakti of sadhana, by the practice, we can study. That's called Sthita Pragya. We went through that in the second chapter, right? Sthita Pragya. Study of mind and intelligence. One who is that? Stidosmi, Sthita Pragya. There are many words like that. So it's very good, So we can get out of, this is the only way. There's no other way, right? Harir Nama iva kevalam. Kalur nasteva gadaranya. There is no other way, no other way in this age of Kali. So thank you so much. Anything else? Anybody would like to add? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Dattatreya Prabhu,
Hare
for
Krishna.
the wonderful nectar, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So much very nicely explained that devotees of the Lord, they live away from the dualities. And Prabhuji also mentioned, Dukkha, Sukha are the seasons which we have to tolerate. I just want to touch upon, like Simeshwar Prabhu was talking about the spirit souls. The thought just came to my mind that he was mentioning that the souls which are not able to liberate, or they still are here and they get to hear the holy name. I was just thinking, like the souls which are not liberated and here on the planet, their subtle senses, mind, intelligence, false ego, intelligence, mind, how would that change? Because in the form of when they had this body, they did not take the name, and what would induce them in the form of a spirit soul to be attracted towards the holy name? Just a thought. I was thinking, like, what would change for that soul?
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentioned that Kannarandra Pathodiya Ridi Maje Praveshiya Borishoy Sudha Anukkan. What does it mean? Kannarandra Pathodiya, that Shri Prabhuji mentioned that Shravanam Kirtanam. That means Shravan. When we hear Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Krishna's beauty, Krishna's all the Leelas from somebody else, that we must have to hear. Here, it doesn't mean that my mind is going to earning money, my mind is going to how to drive the car. That is not the, though I am sitting in front of the speaker, that is not the Shravan. For that reason, Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentioned that Kannarandra Pathodiya. Kannarandra means in the ear, the sound vibration must have to enter into the ear and come into the Ridi Maje Praveshya, in the heart. That sound vibration comes into the heart. Why? Because Paramatma and soul situated in the heart. Then Paramatma will give the blessings. Then Paramatma will give the blessings. This is the mechanism. Kannarandra Pathodiya Ridi Maje Praveshya Borishoy Shuddha Onukkan. Borishoy means spreading the shower. That sound vibration is spreading the shower on the heart. That is. So Shuddha Onukkan. That is Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentioned that in his writings. So that is, it will go away. That is, your question is that mind, intelligence, and false ego, they are subtle. Subtle is not the permanent. The permanent is soul is the permanent. Whatever this life, I am in a human body, my soul in human body. Next life, maybe I will be another body. Soul is existence. And subtle body, if we do here properly, then this subtle body will go away. That subtle body go away means that they will convince, they will also chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then it will be, when mind will chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then your chanting, your realization will become more strengthened, more powerful. So it will be convinced that we must have to convince our mind, intelligence, and false ego. Whenever there is a hingsha, that means ego is come, oh, this person is earning a lot of money than me. That should not be. When that kind of thought come, at that time, we must have to chant Hare Krishna, remember Krishna. Then that kind of sound thing will not come. Then you control that false ego. Similarly, mind is going very fast. So how can we control our mind? Yoga system, Ashtanga yoga system, they are trying to control the mind, but it is very difficult. But what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu given to us, if we chant Hare Krishna, then mind will be convinced. Mind will also chant along with me. And that kind of intelligence, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gurudev, and Lord Krishna will provide that. Our attitude, our perseverance will help. They will help us for perseverance if we have a positive intention. Is it, Prabhuji, you asked me?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah, so it can be controlled, Prabhuji, it can be controlled. Shivansha Prabhuji mentioned that actually, how we control that is, he mentioned. Shravana, Shravan, Kirtan, always we must have to immerse on that. Then all the anarthas will be controlled. When we will jong bapit sharanang bapa tejatante kalevaram. So when during the leaving the body, at that time also my soul will chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Then I can go directly to the Golokdam. That is the practice. That practice we have to go. Srila Prabhupada one day in Bengali class, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that. That is, you laugh actually what he mentioned that. Oh, জন্ম তো নিয়েছো কিন্তু জন্ম নেওয়াটা বড় কথা নয়, মরতে জানতে হবে। That means we took the birth. It's not a big thing, but we have to know how to death, how to leave the body. We have to know. In Calcutta, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that we have to know how to leave the body. For that reason, takes long time for practice. That kind of practice we are doing. That is our mission. The ISKCON mission is the ICNJ doing lot of things. That is 4 o'clock start chanting, then 6:30 Bhagavatam class, then after that Shinsha Prabhuji start 7 o'clock at your time the Bhagavad Gita class, 1.5 hour or 2 hours discussed. Then everybody, he gave us opportunities to everybody to engage our anattas for Krishna consciousness.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very
Thank
nice.
you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for taking the time and sharing the nectar, Prabhuji. Hari Bol.
It's okay, Prabhu.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Very nice discussion. Anything else anybody would like to add? Okay, if not, then let us conclude today's session. So thank you so much for again joining. Please continue to do so. This is a very rare and very special, especially in this human form of life. If we just get an opportunity, as we know that Srila Haridas Thakur says that even we get an opportunity to say Ram in some other ways, even not fully, we're not even conscious of saying Ram, but in some another combined or compound words we use Ram, still it is beneficial. It says that Rama Rame Rama Nama Varananam Sahasra Nama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanam. 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu is as equal as to 3 names of Lord Ram. The names of Lord Ram is same as 1 name of Lord Krishna. It's powerful, it has potency in it. Name of Krishna is not different than Krishna. Everything else is Krishna. So just vibrating this name, Ram, Krishna, Hare, such a potency. So thank you so much for continuing to do so every day. Join and give your blessings and association. So let's pay our obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Chanting Vancha Kalpatarupasya
Namo
Vaishnavebhyo Vaishnavanda ki Virat Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananda Kodi Vaishnavanda ki jai. Gaura Premanande Hari. Thank you, Dattatreya Prabhu, for a wonderful
Hare
class.
Krishna Prabhu giving me the opportunities. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everyone. Hari.
Thank you, dear devotees. So nice.